First thing to do when you get your pole is to take it to a pole that's already measured out, or you can just use a tape measure and split the flag into 5 even sections. That way you can have 2 tapes, tab tape, and then 2 more tapes. So actually 4 even sections, my bad. But you'll have 5 pieces of tape on there. It's easiest to just stick it up to an old pole and then mark those out and then wrap them around twice. For the inside of the silk, you want it to be a little thicker, maybe go a couple more times around. That way you can feel it within the silk. Okay, so update from 2025. When you do the tape thingy, you want to go around the edge a couple times, just like that, so that it's thicker on the bottom, because that's what causes the pole to clank. And then from there, as tight as you can, you just want to go down the pole, not overlapping it too much because you don't want the weight to be too heavy. And then same thing up here, just go over it a couple times, go up and down, and then rip the tape off and then smush it on the top, and that way your bolt should not clank. If you did it right, it should look a little fatter on the end, like an earthworm. Okay, so at this point you should have shoved the bolt into the pole, and then I'm just cutting off little pieces of tape here. They're going to be like 2 to 3 inches, and you need to do an X to tape your pole in, your bolt in. That way, if your pole cap ends up flying off, your bolt doesn't come out and hit somebody in the head and give them a concussion. So yeah, that's just what I'm doing here. Just putting my X over it. And then if you want to be extra secure, you could put a piece of tape over those, like around it, like we would like on a pole. But anyways, moving on to the butt part next. So you're going to do the same exact pattern. You'll do an X and a plus sign. Typically, if we have white butts, we'll tape them white, and black butts will be black. But I think for the sake of this video, I think everything needed to be black on the pole. So that's what I did. Make sure to check with me before taping your butt, because it's really hard to change your butt color once your silk is on. Okay, so next thing I'm doing here is just shoving the butt on the pole. You might have to bang it on the ground because sometimes it's hard once you have electrical tape on to get it on. And then I'm just going around, kind of covering it by a half of the tape's width, and then going onto the pole for like 1 whole rotation and making sure that it's a tape's width away from the butt. Then the last thing you're doing there is sliding on the flag onto it. Make sure that you have looked at your pole and kind of weight it from the center, because the heaviest end will fall down, and that's the top of the pole. You want to keep the flag silk about kind of the tape's length that you did earlier away from the top, and then you're going to take your Scotch tape and you're going to put it half on the silk and half on the pole, and then wrap it around. Try to be closer to the butt than I am in this video, like a little bit closer. Actually, right here is kind of good. And then from there, wrap it on a couple times. Make sure that it's connected to both the flag and the silk. So I kind of go both down and up on the pole. But just make sure to not use too much tape because it's kind of expensive, and then also it does make your flag heavier. One thing to note in the last couple seconds of that clip that I did is that you want to pull the silk down. That way it's in line with the seam and you're kind of taping it in. That way it really does stay secure. Last thing I'm doing is taping the tab. The most important thing to make sure is that the seam is straight. On the DPG silks, it has a line that you can see, so it'll make sure that it's straight. And then you just tape it by going up the flag and then going back down on the pole. Not going too far up. You don't want a thick tab. You want it to be like 2 to 3 inches. Like even in this video, I obviously go a lot farther, but that's because we were taping the whole pole black. But yours should not be more than like, I'd say 3 to 4 inches max on the tab.